Welcome everyone back to Between the Chalk Lines. This is Randy Nunez, your host. All baseball talk all the time. Just want to kick off this episode by saying thank you for listening to all the interviews that I've had these past few weeks and special, episodes and podcasts that we've had in February, kicking off the month of baseball. Players reporting to camp in Arizona, in Florida. Signings happening still, trades happening still, all of it's going on. And I just want to thank you by saying you have a chance to get this JD Martinez Aqua 2023 Topps Chrome card numbered to 199. So I need you to guess what number this card is out of 199. And the closest guess will be the winner. And I will announce that sometime in March. So it might be 1 week, might be March 1st, might be the 8th. Who knows? And I do want to announce that I will also be going to spring training in Arizona. So I'll be catching the spring breakout games for White Sox and Cubs at Sloan Park. I talked about with Stephanie Semplutsky. And then I talked to Jared Timms about the Angels and Dodgers spring breakout game. I'll be going to both of those. So if you want to catch me, I'll be in Arizona. You know where I'll be, Peoria and Tempe. So I hope to see you. If not, I'll definitely be talking about it afterwards with Stephanie and Jared, hopefully. And hopefully there'll be some news to break because we have a lot of things to talk about. And that was, speaking of, JD Martinez here, I want to talk about the big guys that are still in the market. You got NL Cy Young winner from last year, Blake Snell, who is unsigned. We have World Series winner Jordan Montgomery, unsigned. You have Gold Glover winner from last year, Matt Chapman, unsigned. JD Martinez, who's an all-star, unsigned, among other players. So Cody Bellinger, NL Comeback Player of the Year for 2023, unsigned. I know that a lot of these players are unsigned due to, asking price, the fact that they have a draft pick tied to them, and other aspects of, the game, that is the off season. But I do want to get to covering February and what has happened throughout the month. Obviously, all those names those guys I named, including Tommy Pham, Adam Duvall, all remain unsigned as we begin spring training and wrap up the end of the month of February. Who knows? Snell might get signed next week before the end of February. But there are a few things I did want to talk about. Some notable retirements. Some guys that will not be playing baseball, or at least they won't be playing Major League Baseball anymore. Eric Hosmer announced his retirement, and he'll be getting $26 million between the Padres, most of it from the Padres, and the Red Sox over this upcoming season and 2025 season. Other notable retirees, obviously, a Hall of Famer in Miguel Cabrera. You got All-Star and Cy Young winner Corey Kluber. You have World Series winner in Michael Brantley. You have Gold Glover and Platinum Glover in Andrelton Simmons. All-Star Nelson Cruz. You have, again, All-Star and Anna Wainwright, who just actually signed a deal to be an analyst on TV for, I believe, Fox. If I'm wrong, I'll just fix that here. I'll put a little note where he is announcing and will be analyzing. Wainwright, he is a smart guy. Pitchers, I have noticed, are really smart, cerebral, just high IQ guys. So having Wainwright on TV is pretty smart. Moving on from all of that, the retirees and unsigned guys. Wander Franco obviously didn't report to Ray's camp due to his investigation that's still ongoing in the Dominican Republic. So the Rays possibly are filling that hole with Ahmed Rosario on a 1 year deal for this upcoming season. And what the future holds for Rays and Bronco is unknown. I know that the owner has said that the money that they had planned to give Wander Franco is still there, tabbed for Wander Franco, in case of the fact that he is cleared of everything that is being, accused of having a relationship with someone underage. But yeah, so the Rays are tabbing that money as if it were still his until Major League Baseball says, okay, his contract is null and void. You can use that money somewhere else. Moving on to people that have been signed. Brandon Woodruff and the Brewers agreed to a 2 year deal. Second baseman Whit Merrifield, who is actually second on a list of hits from 2017 to now. He has the most second most hits in Major League Baseball. Signed and starting pitcher Spencer Turnbull, a former Detroit Tiger product, have joined the Phillies. So Whit Merrifield, I think, will slot in pretty nicely as a guy that gets on base. That's something that they want to work on a little bit. And Spencer Turnbull, if he can turn it around and become a decent pitcher in the rotation, he might be a 3, 4, maybe even 5 guy for the Phillies. Randall Grichuk, outfielder, continues to find work. Guys on this list will be guys that you'll be like, oh, he's a backup, whatever. Randall Grichuk, yeah, he's a fourth outfielder with the Diamondbacks, 1 year deal. Relief pitcher Liam Hendricks. Actually, I didn't think he would sign until maybe closer to opening day, but he and the Red Sox agreed on a 2 year, $10 million deal, guaranteed, including performance bonuses. So, performance incentives are always nice to have with guys like Hendricks and other people that I'll be naming on this list. Yasmani Grandal, someone that I thought would be with the Phillies for a while, is actually joining the Pirates as depth, if you can believe it. Pitcher Yariel Rodriguez is joining the Blue Jays on a 5 year deal. So this is one of the bigger deals. Not the biggest deal that we'll be talking about, but one of the bigger deals that we'll be talking about this year or today in this episode. It is worth at least $32 million because of the fact they don't know if he will be a starter or a reliever or even both, splitting time between those 5 years. So this can be worth up to $47.5 million if he is a starting pitcher for the Jays throughout the entirety of those 5 years. Pitcher Jacob Junis signed a 1 year deal with the Brewers, includes a club option for 2025 and a $3 million buyout if they don't want him in 2025. Or they can just pay him $8 million to continue playing for them. Pitchers King Milton and Jose Cisnero went to the Cardinals and Angels, respectively. Cisnero is a relief pitcher, so is Keenan Milton. Mitch Keller, another surprising deal for me, honestly, agreed to a 5 year extension worth $77 million with the Pirates to kind of anchor that rotation. What's surprising is the fact that he's allowing to buy out 3 years of his free agency. But what's not surprising is the fact that those 3 years lead up to his age 32 season. So maybe he's sitting there, he's 27 years old. He says, hey, the Pirates are going to give me 5 years of stability. Players like, having the three C's: cash, comfort, and competitiveness. Obviously, the Pirates are not going to be competitive, but he's getting the cash and the comfort. He knows he'll be in Pittsburgh for 5 years. And yeah, I mean, taking that deal is pretty smart, as he doesn't have to deal with arbitration for this year, next year. And then from 26 through 28, he will be in Pittsburgh for 3 years. He doesn't have to worry about getting a free agency contract that's long. It's basically 2 years of arbitration and a 3-year contract for a free agency with the Pirates. Um, if you want to cut it into that, significance. Gio Urshela, infielder, will be with the Tigers next year for a 1-year deal that's worth $1.5 million. So follow that up, in infielders, Tim Anderson is going to the Marlins on a 1-year deal worth $5 million. That is that was a little bit surprising. The number, um, especially after last season, how he performed. Anderson didn't feel like. I understand the Urshela $1.5 million because he got hurt, but Anderson was not hurt, uh, at least to my knowledge, and just underperformed. He's known for hitting contact, not a power bat too much, but known for the contact. His defense. I know that the Giants and the Angels, always the Angels are connected to these guys, but Tim Anderson would not have fit in Anaheim. We have Zach Neto at shortstop and Brandon Drury at second base. So Anthony Rendon at third base, Nolan Shanwell at first base. The infield is pretty much full. Outfield as well. There's like 5 outfielders. You got Kelly Ward, Trout, um, Hicks, Moniak, and Adele. You have 5 outfielders. And then you got more infielders in the minor leagues. Want to go there, which I don't want to go there really. Austin Nola joined the Royals on a 1-year contract. I don't know the amounts yet. And then the biggest contract that we'll be talking about now. We don't know about March. Maybe Snell or Montgomery or Bellinger might break this. But Hyun Jin Ryu signed a record 8-year deal with his former KBO team, the Hanwha Eagles, for a amount worth $12.8 million US, but 17 billion won, and includes an opt out. I don't know what year, but there's an opt out clause in that contract. It is not only the longest ever deal in KBO history, but also the richest deal ever given. And Hyun Jin Ryu is not young. Ryu is going to be in his 40s when this contract ends up, uh, if he goes through the entire 8-year deal. So basically, he is guaranteed almost another $13 million US to retire in Korea. So he's going to go back to his home country and finish up his professional baseball career in the KBO with the original team that he came up with starting his professional baseball career. And that's a nice story. Good for him. And speaking of Far East, Mets starter Kodai Senga is being shut down for the rest of spring training with a shoulder strain and may not be ready for the beginning of season. So now you have to think Stephen Cohen, owner of the Mets, is a billionaire. Um, you know, do I go after Jordan Montgomery? Do I go after Blake Snell? There's rumors of Blake Snell and the Yankees talking. Um, do I go after someone else? Do I bring up a prospect? There's a lot of what ifs and what do I do's and maybes there in New York. So don't know what's gonna happen. And then finally to wrap up signings and all of this, we all knew this was going to happen. Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw, left-handed pitcher, agreed to a 2-year deal, which will pay him $5 million both years. Second year is a player option, which Kershaw can opt in to and get his a second $5 million check. There are also performance bonuses based on how many starts in a year he makes. I believe it starts at 6 games started, and then up to about 10 games started. He makes a certain amount of money uh, for that. So they know that he won't be their frontline starter anymore, and I'm probably guessing he won't be playing too much in the postseason if they make it that far. Assuming they make it to the postseason in 2024 and 2025. It's the option again. It's a player option. And in non-player news, Albert Pujols is reportedly going to be the new manager for the Dominican Winter League team, Leones del Escogidos, which a good friend of the channel, Ty Butchie, played on last year. And this is his beginning to hopefully, becoming a Major League Baseball manager. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be years down the line before he ever gets to majors, I'm sure. He'll probably be in the DR managing for this next September and following September of 2025 before he gets to look at even the minors or the majors. Uh, and that's just again my opinion, but I know that 2024 he'll be spending time in Dominican Republic as the Leones del Escogido manager. And that is all that I have as far as news go. Rumors, of course, rumors between Blake Snell and New York Yankees is that he might get 5 years. He's not going to get anything near 200 million. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing, reading, and all that. Jordan Montgomery, he wants to stay in Texas, but the Texas GM, Chris Young, has basically said we're not going to have a reunion. It's not going to be a nice, happy, family reunion with Montgomery, unfortunately. But things might change. We'll see. Um, league and insiders are saying that if a team gets has an injury in their rotation, they won't necessarily jump at the fact that Snell and Montgomery are unsigned still. So they won't be the first person they'll be calling, is all I could say. So the Mets, I'm sure, are still discussing what they're going to be doing about the Senga situation and who will be replacing him in the rotation. That's a big blow to them, especially in that division. I mean, just the NL in general. You got the Dodgers and the Braves are pretty much locks for the playoffs in the National League. American League, you have the Astros, the Rangers, the Yankees. There's a lot of teams in the American League that can make it. Twins again in that week. AL Central Division, maybe even the Tigers. But I would say, I would bets on, and again, this is not financial, you know, how can I say, financial advice on betting. You can bet on whatever you want to bet. This is just my thoughts are the Dodgers, Braves, and the Phillies, along with a wild card team, possibly the Marlins. Now on the American League side, Orioles, uh, possibly winning the AL East. AL West is going to be Rangers or Astros, and AL Central will be Twins or uh, Tigers. And then you have a wild card team. Your wild card team could be the Rangers, could be the Yankees, could be both of them in wild card, or one of the AL Central teams. Um, it's going to be an interesting season, especially seeing Shohei Ohtani in Dodger Blue. Um, that's going to be a big blow to the Angels. The Angels could be last place. Ron Washington has never managed a team that has won less than 75 games, and I think the Angels will lose uh, more games uh, than they ever have in a long time. And the Angels will not win 75 games or more this season, unfortunately for the fans, say. But we do have a young core in, Detmers, Sandoval, Neto, Shanwell, Moniak. These guys are exciting guys to be watching. There's still no reason to watch Angels baseball, I would say. Same thing for the Reds. The Reds have a lot of young guys like De La Cruz, O'Neill. The Cubs have guys like Morel, um, and Pete Crow Armstrong. There's a lot of young talent that I'll be watching. Like I said, in March, at the White Sox Cubs spring breakout game and the Angels Dodgers spring breakout game. Dodgers, they continue to make good trades and create good prospects. Jackson Ferris, who they got from the Cubs, is going to be a fantastic pitcher. Caden Dana, the Angels, he could be a very fantastic pitcher for them on that side. And Nelson Rada is going to be a great outfielder. He's only 18 years old. He's already in Major League camp. So that tells you anything. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So Dana, Rada, Ferris, Armstrong, let's say Brian Ramos for the White Sox, Spencer Jones for the Yankees. He is highly underrated, guys. So Spencer Jones, looking to him. Don't buy his cards because they're going to be extremely expensive right now. So look at those prospects. I would say, obviously Colson Montgomery for the White Sox again. Jackson Holiday for the Orioles. He's probably going to make opening day roster. Um, Man, it's really hard to stop with prospects. I love prospects and prospecting, searching for the next big guy. It's just hard sometimes. I know for a fact that the I can't remember his name now for the life of me, but the Blue Jays have an infielder. One says Orelvis. One says Orelvis, his first name, but the Rays have Curtis Mead, who's had a little bit of major league experience. Um, yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop rambling and let you go. Randy Nunez, your host, as always, all baseball talk all the time. We'll be having some special episodes again in March, and probably April as we start the season. So look out for that, and I will catch you next time.